to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and we are back. This is day 3 of the Olympic trials. And when I tell you, a lot going on. A lot going on. So, the women's heptathlon started today. So it'll conclude, I want to say it'll conclude tomorrow. Yeah, it'll conclude tomorrow. And the clear favorite so far is Anna Hall. And I believe right now the current standing is, she's in the running, but she's not in first place. I think she's like in second place or something like that. And none of them are really that far away from each other, so everyone's still kind of in it. But she's in a good position where she can, hopefully get on the team. And the story with her is she actually is battling injury, and she's just now kind of coming back, because I think she did end up getting like foot surgery or something like that, or knee surgery. I think it was knee surgery. I think it was her knee. And so she's just trying to slowly get back, and this Olympic trials is her first time her first time competing this season. So not ideal, but I feel like she still has enough in the tank to do what she needs to do to get into the Olympics. So that's the goal there. And then the other notable event that we had is the women's semifinals for the 800 meters. That was exciting, especially the first round. That first round was super exciting. So Athene Mu was kind of like somewhat in second place the whole entire time when she was doing the run. And she did eventually take control and just, win. But the other two who ended up, actually it was 3. Yeah. Because it's like top 2 get into the final, and the third is going to be based off of time. So the second place person found enough space to get in there to win, but she like immediately tripped over like the rail and fell right into like the time thing. And she's tiny, and I thought she was like, it did not look good. But she's scratched up, but she's still good. She's getting to the finals. And then spoiler alert, the person who ended up, leaving too much space for her to get through, she did qualify on time, so it was all good, but man. And they kind of called that out. The person who ended up getting third, Michaela Rose. She's college, so she goes to LSU. They kind of gave her something, kind of gave her a time, saying like, hey, you need to make sure when you're doing this, you can't be, you got to make sure you don't leave enough space like that. And that's something she'll learn with time, and they kind of did call that out. But it looks like pretty much this is going to be good finals for those who got through. And pretty much everyone who got through, looks like they'll have the Olympic. Well, hold on. I'm trying to see. I'm double checking. Yeah, most of them have the Olympic Standard Time. Some of them don't. But the favorite for this is Athene Mu, and then Rhea Rogers. Like those two are like Raven Rogers. Those are like the two favorites. But yeah, we'll see. And then Kate Grace, the one who crashed, she's also another favorite too. Like, so they've all been, they've all seen the dance before. So hopefully that's who we'll see what happens with that. So that's kind of highlight what happened there. All right, another highlight that we saw today was the men's 400 meters. So the people that you expect to see get in did get in. So Burton Norwood, he got in. Bryce Deadman got in. Quincy Hall got in. And then Michael Norman, he's a favorite and former Olympian, so he got in. Same thing with Quincy Williams. I don't know. Quincy Wilson. No, not Wilson. Quincy Hall. There's two Quincy's, but they're both significant. Quincy Hall. I'm not sure, but I thought he was in the Olympics before, but I might be confusing him with being in the World Championships. He's been on the major stage before. We'll just say that. He's been a major world stage. So I think Michael Norman's in good company. And then the other highlight that we saw, Quincy Wilson is the 16-year-old. And I want y'all to go back and watch this race. If you have YouTube, you could probably find the clip. You could easily find the clip on YouTube. Go back, watch it. I'm not going to put it on here because copywriting of it all, but I will put the link to go to watch it. He's wearing his high school track outfit. And he's 16 and he looks like he's 16. And he got third place in his semifinals. Only the top two made it through guaranteed, but he got through in time. He qualified by time. And if we were going to do a time qualifying, fourth fastest time. And he PR'd again, so that also means he broke the under 20 something record again. If this is why I watched this. It's so cool to see, because he's clearly going to be the future of the sport if he doesn't, and it's awesome. It's awesome to see. So that's really, really cool. The other thing is too that I forgot to mention. Actually, we'll get to it later on because it's pretty significant. So, but anyway, that was the highlight of the 400 meters. We'll talk about the other thing that I wanted to bring up next. So remember when I brought up that Snoop Dogg was sitting next to Noah Lyle's mom? Well, that came up in the segment where he was talking to Noah Lyle's mom. And then we also find out that Snoop Dogg is going to be their special correspondent for the Paris Olympics and even today. And when I tell you Snoop Dogg makes everything better. And it cracks me up too how he's everyone's favorite rapper now, knowing his history. For those who, if you know, it's amazing. I love it. So that wasn't the last time we saw Snoop Dogg because he's a correspondent, right? So then the next thing that he got to correspond on was a men's steeplechase final. That was the most interesting steeplechase final that I have ever seen in my life because Snoop Dogg's assisting with the corresponding. I was laughing. It was good. It was good stuff. So if you want to get a chance to watch that, I will watch that. If you have Peacock, you can actually just go and get to that, watch that event. But anyway, so with the men's finals for the steeplechase, that was pretty dramatic because, Hillary Bowe took a pretty nasty fall, even though he was kind of the favorite and the veteran of the steeplechasing. So he did end up almost coming back, but then he just kind of petered out towards the end. So the guys who won was Kenneth Brooks. And then this is Matthew Wilkinson, and he was the guy from Minnesota that I mentioned. And then James Corlin, who I guess is the training partner, is Kenneth Brooks' training partner, but he's still like in college. So yeah, those are the guys who won. Evan Jager got 4th place. But the tricky thing is, none of these guys had the Olympic standard. So it's going to be a waiting period as into them getting in.
Also, side note, I did actually look more into what this Olympic standards thing means. The other thing that's kind of tricky about this is that there is an idea of if you have enough points, overall sponsor points and whatnot, you can actually still qualify as part of the Olympic standards. So it helps with your case. Another huge caveat with all these people who end up placing, especially 3rd place, he is a college kid, so he doesn't have any of that for sure. Brooks might, and then the other guy who was in 2nd place might, but 4th place, Evan Jager does. So Evan Jager might still actually be on the Olympic team after all. We'll just have to wait and see. And since Evan Jager is a lot more experienced when it comes to finding ways to qualify versus the others, especially the, kid in 3rd place, and I feel bad that I'm not really giving him his name or props, but I'm kind of afraid to because he may not even be on the Olympic team after all anyway, and Evan Jager might still be on the Olympic team because all the other participants outside of the 1st place winner have an uphill battle because the 1st place winner has been on the world stage before. The other 2 have not. So the Olympic Committee is going to be looking at all that kind of stuff in order for them to, end up being able to run for the United States if they don't somehow, some way not meet the Olympic standard. So I just kind of wanted to call that out. I'll talk a little bit more about it in the video, but I just wanted to let you know that I did get more information on that.
Getting in because none of them have the Olympic standard. And I don't know. I think what steeplechasing was a little bit tricky about that is that there's not a lot of those events where you can try to do another race to get the Olympic standards. For some of the other mid-distance races, like your 10,000, 5,000 meters, and also too, the tricky thing is I'm pretty sure the Diamond League suspended some of their races, and I don't know when the Diamond League resumes again. Yeah, it's gonna be tricky. I'm not sure how these people are gonna get their the Olympic standards. So yeah, it's gonna be a waiting period. They're probably going to wait to know whether they're gonna be in or not. So that's the thing that's tricky. And I mentioned I mentioned in the video that I had for the Friday highlights about that Olympic standard thing. That's why for mid distance to marathon, just winning isn't enough. You have to have the Olympic standards. But for like your shorter distance, almost everyone has the Olympic standards or can get it easily, so it's not a big deal. Because most sprinters are already running faster than the Olympic standards who are winning the races. For the mid-distance to distance races, that's not always it, because since it's such, sometimes the race can be a slower race, a tactical race. If it's really hot, people are not running as fast, so it's a little bit trickier. So we'll see what happens with that. More to be developed when it comes to that. So there's that. Side note, and Kenneth Brooks was the guy that I told you who won the national championship last year, so he won it again. So there's that. So then the next highlight was the women's 400 meters. And So Shamir Little was also in this race. I forgot to mention it before because Shamir Little is more known as like a 400-meter hurdler. So that was kind of a major story that she even was competing for this because she got into the final. So I guess she figured, hey, I'll just try my luck to see what happens. But she did not quite, she didn't really get in there. So I don't know how that's gonna go as far as. Sorry, I'm not sure how that's gonna go when it comes to. I hope her doing this racing this week doesn't sabotage her chances of her actual discipline, which are 400-meter hurdles, for her qualifying for that. So we'll see. But the people who ended up winning was Kendall Ellis, Aaliyah Butler, who's still in college, and then Alexis Holmes. And Alexis Holmes she's the one who's actually becoming, we're gonna hear more about her. She really kind of made her debut or kind of made a name for herself last year during the World Championships. So we'll see how she does. It's just her run that she had for I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. She was going to have a run. Her semifinal run was not good. She almost didn't even get in the final. She qualified by time. But she did do enough what she needed to do to get third place again to the Olympics. So she's good to go. She's actually, her and Kendall Ellis are kind of the only two that are kind of more like veterans of the sport. But Alexa Holmes is like kind of the only one that's really competed at world stage in more recent years. Kendall Ellis, she's coming back and she looks amazing. And then Aaliyah Butler, she's a college kid who just got done competing in NCAA and then immediately went to this. So, and I will say this too, for those who did not qualify for the 400-meter distance, if you have the Olympic standards and you did like 4th or 5th place, a lot of times they'll use you for the relay. So whether you actually qualify or not, it does at least help your chances for at least getting to the relay race. So they still can get gold, but it'll be like a team goal versus like an individual goal. Similar to, I think they do a similar thing to like that 100-meter people too. If you like are in 4th place or wherever, you still could technically compete. And that's going to be a thing later on when it comes to the men. Actually, even for the women a little bit, because I think, I forgot to mention in the race yesterday, Alicia Holmes, I think is her name. She got 4th place. So she did not qualify for the Olympics because, the team, the Sha'Carri Richardson teammates and her all won. So they'll probably use her on the relay if she agrees and wants to do that. Anyway. Okay, so then the main event was the men's 100 meters. And man, that didn't disappoint. And side note, when it came to the men's 100 meters, I forgot to mention this, there was another high school who was competing who ended up actually getting, who ended up qualifying based off of time for the semifinals. So the semifinals was earlier during the day, similar to what they did with the women. And Christian Miller was the guy who ended up qualifying via, time. So what I will say is that his finals was much better. And to what I was mentioning here, he might be able to still go to the Paris Olympics, but just as team relay. Similar with the other thing that we did not see coming. So this 100-meter race was a deep field. We'll start with that. Courtney Lindsay has been kicking butt on this. We also had Christian Coleman, who was kind of one of the favorites. Fred Curley, even though he's been having a really weird couple years, prior to last year, he was having a phenomenal years. So I would say from 2021 and 2022, he was having great years. And then 2023 and this year, earlier on, it's been kind of weird. And then Kung Fu Kenny, Kenny Barrett, he is kind of the dark horse. But the thing is with him, if you follow him in the 200s, and really if you follow his career in general, if he has a Kung Fu Kenny, this deal going on, and it's a final, he's going to be in the podium somewhere. That is just him. He's kind of quiet. He's not a braggadocious type of dude, but he's going to be there. And I like him for that. I like how low key he is, but he just be in there. He's like, I'm here. Y'all ain't talking about me, but you ain't got to worry about it. I'm fine. I like it. I like it. You keep doing you. And then, of course, the charismatic, who is exuding that energy that Usain Bolt used to like exude. And he even met Usain Bolt, and Usain Bolt was like, keep doing that. This is good for the sport. The sport needs this kind of energy. Noah Lyles. And Noah Lyles did not disappoint. When I tell you he won that race. And by the way, the order that I'm saying this is the order kind of how it went. So Noah Lyles, Kung Fu Kenny, and Fred Kerley. Christian Coleman was shut out. And he was not happy. He was not happy. But Fred Kerley finally showed up. Because Fred Kerley, when he's good, he's good. And I think they forgot about it because he didn't have a good season last year, but when he's good, he's good. And Christian Coleman, though, was heartbreaking for him is he wasn't able to go to the Tokyo Olympics because of a whereabout violation. So he wasn't able to come. So that's gone again. But I don't know if he'll be willing to do this from now. I'm pretty sure they can maybe have him come there on the relay side. But, I don't think they're going to come up to him now to ask that. They're going to wait until, they'll wait until he cools off and probably ask him that. But everyone has an Olympic standard that's on this field that was going to win. So there's that. But yeah, that was a highlight of today's events. We have coverage is happening on Monday, and then we resume on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it should be good. Let me see what's supposed to be happening tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow's going to be good. A lot of finals are going to be happening tomorrow. The Heptathlon, I think, is going to conclude tomorrow. The men's hurdles are going to start. The 110 hurdles are going to start. Women's high jump, men's long jump. Those are all the finals that are going to be happening. Women's discus throw, first rounds are going to be happening. Men's 15,000 meters. 1,500 meters are going to start. The finals, that's going to happen. That should be pretty exciting. And then the men's 400, the women's 5,000, and then the women's 800s. Yeah, should be exciting. So I'll continue the coverage tomorrow. Yeah, I guess I'm going to be posting this back to back to back because I'm kind of late on this. But anyway, that does conclude that. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner. And I apologize for low energy. I out of nowhere just got really, really tired. But anyway, I will see you next time. Bye.